Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing something a little bit different because it's sunny and I thought why not. I've actually come to the park that's across my road and it's very beautiful and I absolutely love it, but it's very warm and there are people about and I'm very awkward, so this is going to be interesting. Just to give you an idea, this is where I am, so that's where the fountain is. If you can hear fountain sounds, I'm very sorry. There's some trees about. It's very, very pretty. So yeah, again, the camera may be a bit shaky because I am outside and I haven't got a tripod or anything. But I'm actually going to talk to you today about Credence by Penelope Douglas. Now this is a new adult romance. I read it like a couple of weeks back. Didn't hate it for the most part, but then the ending completely destroyed any hope for this book. Just as a quick kind of summary, I'm going to read you the blurb. So, Tiernan de Haas doesn't care about anything anymore. The only child of a film producer and his starlet wife, she's grown up with wealth and privilege, but not love or guidance. Shipped off to a boarding school from early age, it was still impossible to escape the loneliness and carve out a life of her own. The shadow of her parents' fame followed her everywhere, and when they suddenly pass away, she knows she should be devastated. But has anything really changed? She's always been alone, hasn't she? Jake Vanderberg, her father's stepbrother and her only living relative, assumes guardianship of Tiernan, who is still 2 months shy of 18. Sent to live with him and his two sons, Noah and Caleb, in the mountains of Colorado, Tiernan soon learns that these men now have a say in what she chooses to care and not care about anymore. As the three of them take her under their wing, teach her to work and survive in the remote woods, far away from the rest of the world, she slowly finds her place among them and is a part of them. And she also realizes that lines blur and rules become easy to break when no one is watching. One of them has her, the other one wants her, but he's going to keep her. So that kind of is a really good summary of the book. It gives enough of the plot, but not too much that it gives it away. Now, for the most part, the book is incredibly well written. It's uncomfortable, yes. It is considered taboo. There's parts of it that I loved. So I tabbed this book. Now, I will explain to you what the tabs mean. So, the pink was my eureka moments when I finally found the answer to a question that maybe when I was reading the book I had. Orange is WTF moments. Yellow is unintentionally turned on. Newsflash, didn't use any of those. Green made me uncomfortable. You guessed it, there's an awful lot of those being used. Blue is sad, and Tiernan needs a hug. Dark purple is when I forgot how fucked up this book was. And then the light purple is like if something is particularly beautiful. This is what it looks like. The ones that look yellow, I promise you, are light green. I didn't ever get turned on by this book. It disgusted me, actually, in a lot of places. Now, I don't care about sex in books, as long as it's there for a reason and it doesn't feel out of place, and this one didn't feel out of place. A lot of the stuff, everything seemed very deliberate with Penelope Douglas, and what I can say about her is she knows how to write. And I will flick to just one of the things where I really enjoyed the writing. So, they talk about, this is set in, I don't even know, somewhere in the mountains in America, and she's explaining the view that she sees from her bedroom window. So it's just there, a cathedral sitting in front of a blue sky, and before I can stop myself, I raise my hand, reaching out for it, like I want to take it in my fist, but all I can see is the morning air breeze through my fingers. And that is such a good image. Like, I know exactly what Penelope Douglas is describing, and it's beautiful. It really is very beautiful. But there's also some very disturbing things that happen in this book, and things that I can't just ignore. Okay, so something that's really awkward about filming in public is that there are children in this park, and I'm talking about a new adult romance in a park, and I'm starting to get a little uncomfortable, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm going to soldier on. So, there are things in this book that are incredibly fucked up, for lack of a better term, and I understand why Penelope Douglas wrote this, but I also can't justify its existence. Now, this is on the ending for this book alone. Tiernan goes through a lot. She's obviously very traumatized, but I cannot forgive the ending of this book in any way, shape, or form. I mean, it's a ride. This book takes you on a wild ride and then spits you out like you're worthless and you're not worth nothing. And I kind of love that and hate that at the same time. Now, if the ending hadn't happened, by the way, there's also a 5-year time jump. If that hadn't happened, I probably would have given this book 4 stars. Because of the ending, 1 star. It knocked it 3 stars for the ending alone. She's a virgin until she comes to move in with the 3 guys in this book. Now, everyone in this town, not just the family, are complete and utter weirdos. I will say that off the bat. Weirdos. Every single one of them. I would love to know if these towns in America exist. I don't know if coming from Europe and from the UK, I just don't see this kind of behaviour in a town. I get it, teenagers party. I partied a lot at university, but not to the extent that these teenagers do. And not to the extent where all the adults are also fine with it. And the thing you have to remember is they're not actually related. But they make a thing throughout the entire book where we're always reminded that Tiernan is their cousin and Jake is her uncle. They make a big thing about it. And it's always in the creepiest moments possible, and it makes me feel sick. So, the 3 main characters in Credence are Tiernan, Jake, Noah, Caleb. Now we get to know these 3 very well. I would even say too well. Every one of them are so screwed up. They all kind of hate their family apart from each other, but Noah and Caleb, Jake's 2 sons, seem to not like Jake very much either. They live on this like big ranch near the woods and near the mountain, and they teach Tiernan how to kind of work on the farm with the animals, and they have like a motorbike company where they they do the bodywork for mountain bikes and racing bikes. And Noah, he wants to do motorbike racing. I can't particularly remember, it's been a little while since I've read it, and he wants to leave the town he's in. He wants to leave Jake's farm. He doesn't want to have anything to do with the family really anymore. And he talks quite in depth with Tiernan about wanting to leave. And I've had a bit of an argument with the girls on Zoom, so like Valentina and Fiona. And not really an argument, a discussion with Fiona, Valentina, Ivonne, and Crystal to an extent. But Crystal, you didn't finish Credence, so I mean, you DNF'd it. But my favourite of the 3 men would be Noah, because he's a little bit more grounded than the other 2. I think my least favourite is Caleb and then Jake. Jake's kind of in the middle, because although he is probably the most unnerving, well, no, that's not even true either. Caleb is definitely the most unnerving, but Jake is her step-uncle, and he takes her virginity, and it's one of those things that just makes me feel very uncomfortable. Now, when I say uncomfortable, I mean because I'm adopted, okay, but I'm not related to any of my family, but I've never been, oh yeah, I want to sleep with them. There are people in my adopted family that I've never met before. I've seen photos of them, but yeah, no, I can't see it being normal. And I know it's not supposed to be normal, don't get me wrong, but it's just weird. And it's so wrong, and they make a thing of like Jake like fighting himself on it, but like he still does it, and then they have like a sexual relationship for a while until she realizes that she doesn't want Jake, she wants the sons. And then the first time she sleeps with the sons, she does it with both of them together, and it's as weird as that sounds, and there's no way of sugarcoating it. it's gross. And Jake gets really jealous, and it's just weird because they're so jealous of each other. She loses her red panties, and then there's like Penelope Douglas seems to think it's a thing, but we don't care. Like, I forgot about them, and there's a whole thing in the book that says, oh, there's one mystery left, and then she made it the most obvious person to have them, and that was really boring. Like, if she was going to do that, why didn't she do something a little bit more interesting? But the whole thing that annoys me is that she then realizes she's in love with Caleb too late, and then she tries to run away, and then she's like, and she calls like her her babysitter, person who looks after her, to come take her away. And then there's a whole thing where this guy from the village who's been a creep this whole time is like trying to break in, and before that they've been into town where they met this girl that Caleb had been sleeping with, who, like, it's such a trope. Like, it was like a soap opera where the girl was pregnant and Caleb might be the father, but Caleb is also a mute. I should have said that ages ago, but Caleb is a mute. He doesn't speak, and that's why she likes him, but he doesn't even speak when she asks him about the child. He just looks horrified, and then when they get back to the farm, like, he puts her suitcase in her babysitter's car and like pushes her away essentially. It's really weird. And then she leaves and she gets away, and the fact that she gets away is something I really do appreciate. But then she meets Noah just like on the promenade, and he like speaks to her, and he's been there for like a month doing his own thing, and he went to speak to her, and then she wasn't at the house, and it was, yeah. And then she goes back, and who's there but good old Uncle Jake. And she goes upstairs and goes to sleep, and then in the morning she wakes up and there's a tire swing. So yeah, they make a big thing about this tire swing and how it's affected her life, and then because Caleb's there, suddenly it's okay. And then because Caleb fixed it, like, he's the hero of the hour, and it's just weird to me. And then they suddenly cut to 5 years later, and she's married with a baby to Caleb, and it makes me so mad because all he does is just speak one word. And the worst thing about this is, in the short story, about the one with the panties, Caleb can always speak, apparently. He just chooses not to, which is just so weird. Why would you do that? Who knows? Nobody knows, but it's stupid and it's weird and I don't like it. So in conclusion, Valentina, I'm glad you like this book because someone does, and you will be getting this one with some handwritten notes, and I hope you enjoy it. And thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next week with another video. Thanks guys, bye!